Everybody, Noreen here. I've got a little travel journal mini album project for you today, featuring Creative Memories' brand new travel themed Gallivant Collection. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be using the Gallivant Collection to make this travel themed mini album. I've already done a few projects with it, so all of my Gallivant products are open. We are going to use some of the mats, some of the stickers, and definitely some of the die cut embellishments. And then we're going to choose a few pieces of paper from the paper pack, all right? For this mini album, you're actually going to need 2 pieces of patterned paper and then 2 pieces of cardstock. So I've chosen this piece because it kind of has a multi-directional pattern. When we fold it and make it into our mini album pages, you don't want to have something that's going to have a direction which can only be used one way. So I want to use this one, and then I really liked how the green globes kind of coordinated with that, and then 2 pieces of the new navy cardstock. Okay, now you're also going to need some ribbon and about a 36-inch length of it. So I cut a piece of brown, but I also have some navy craft yarn and some navy ribbon here, so I might end up using that to kind of coordinate with the navy paper. We'll have to see. I also have some twine, but I'm not sure that I like that. So we'll see what the final result is there. As for tools, you're going to need some of your basic tools. Definitely your trimmer and your multi-purpose tool for scoring. Then you're also going to need either the regular corner rounder, which I'm just grabbing here, okay, or the new 4-way punch, okay, the corner punch and hole punch. This is the one I'm going to be using, but if you don't have this one yet, you can certainly use the regular corner rounder. Adhesive, of course, and then the only other tool you'll need is a hole puncher, and that's just to punch the holes, and of course the ribbon is to bind our album pages together. Okay, now just like with most of my other projects that I show you, I've got a cutting guide and some instructions for you on a free printable handout. You'll be able to access that handout in the link just below the video here. Make sure you click on show more, and then the entire description will pop up, and then you'll see the link to the handout. But I'm just going to go through the scoring guide and then the 2 cutting guides with you here. Okay, so don't forget to go and download that for yourself. Let's just clear up here a bit. All right, now I've been making this type of little mini album for many years. I remember making, sorry, this is sticking to the, there we go. I remember making my first mini album like this when my son Sam was born back in 2008, and I made a little mini album for his grandparents of some of his pictures, you know, from his first few days. It's a really great album, and even though I'm only going to show you 2 pages with 4 inserts, you can add more pages as needed, just following the basic kind of instructions. So we're going to do the scoring and folding of the patterned paper first. So, and again, I know you can't really see it on here, but you're going to be scoring it at 3 and then at 9, so basically 3 inches from the outside edge, okay? And we're going to fold it in towards the center of the page. So we're going to do that on both of the 12 by 12 patterned paper. Remember, this is not cutting, this is just scoring. Now, some of you may have scoring boards. I just like to use my decorative trimmer, and I line it up at the right measurement, which in this case is 3, and then I use my multi-purpose tool just to gently score. Now remember, with your patterned paper, it doesn't take much to score. And then we can move it all the way down here to 9, or you could flip it around and do it again at 3. All right, there's one piece. Let's score the other one. 3 and 9. Oops, almost did. It stopped at 8. Okay, so we're just going to set the trimmer aside for now. All right, now to make the 2 patterned pages, what we're going to do is we're going to fold it towards the center, okay? So if I fold this way, I'm going to see that side. So make sure that it's the side that you want to see on the outside. Okay, so, and I'm more concerned about it lining up along the edges here than being straight in the middle. Okay, and I'm just going to take my multi-purpose tool. It really is multi-purpose. I use it for everything. Okay, that's going to be the first page. All we're going to do after that is fold it in half. And again, just making sure you get nice, even folds. Okay, that's our first page. We're going to do the same thing with our green paper. Yeah, I don't want this page or this side showing. Just make sure you fold it with the side that you want facing out. And again, I want it to be even along the edges, not so worried about where it meets up. So I folded both of my pattern papers 3 inches in, and now I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, I'm just going to smooth it down. All right. So those are the base of my mini album. And as you can guess, they're going to kind of just go together like that. Now we're going to make some inserts that are going to go in each one of these little pockets. Okay, so that's where our cardstock comes in. All right. So the first piece of cardstock, there's 2 different cutting guides, one for each of the 2 pieces of cardstock. The first one we're going to cut 2 1-inch by 12-inch strips, 1 2-inch by 12-inch strip, and then the remaining part we're going to cut and make 4 4 by 6-inch pieces. Okay, so let's do that. I've got a 1-inch strip. I like to just do my 1 inches here because it's a little easier to hold on to everything. There's a 1-inch strip. And there's another 1-inch strip. Okay, now I'm going to do my 2-inch strip. Okay, and then now the remaining piece that I have is going to measure 8 by 12. So I'm going to make it into 4 4 by 6. And these are going to basically be mats for your photos. I've got 2 4 by 12, stack them, turn them, and cut at 6. Okay, so I've got all of the pieces shown in the cutting guide. 2 1-inch by 12-inch, 1 2-inch by 12-inch, and 4 4 by 6s. Okay, let's put those aside for now. And then our last piece of cardstock is going to be our inserts. This is easy. We're going to make just 2 cuts at 6 inches so that we get 4 6 by 6-inch pieces. And you're going to see how this will all come together very quickly in just a moment. So 2 6-inch by 12-inch, I just stacked them, turn them sideways, and now I've got 4 6 by 6-inch pieces. Okay, now each of these pieces is going to be an insert to go in this little pocket created by folding your paper. All right, so we want to add a tab to those, and we're going to make a little tab with our 2-inch by 12-inch strip. Okay, we're just going to cut that into 2 inches. We're going to make 4 of them, so 4 squares, 2 by 2. All right, this piece is going to be just left over. We're going to use those little guys. And this is where either the 4-way punch or your corner rounder will come in. Okay, so we're going to simply fold these in half. I don't think you need your scoring tool for that, but you might want to smooth it down. Okay, and then I really like this fancy corner, so I'm just going to slide it in, press down, and I'm going to have a nice little tab. This is going to be my tab that will go on each one of my little inserts. Okay, so let's just make those super fast. Put one side on one side of the paper, and then fold the other side over. Okay, so now it's going to be a nice little tab that we can pull it out of our album. So that's the idea, and each one of them is going to have a little tab. Okay, still have a few more steps to go, so let me just make these ones really quick. Okay, so there's my 4 album page inserts, all done. All right, and so you might be wondering what the other strips are for. Let's get rid of a few of these things. These strips that we cut are actually going to cover over the seam that we have on each of the pattern paper pieces. Okay, so all you're going to do is place adhesive down the sides, and you're really going to want it close to the edges. You don't worry too much about the middle, but we want to be able to bind the seam basically. And that's why we want everything to be nice and even. Okay, and then again, fold it in half. My Rogue multi-purpose tool. I really just find when you go and smooth out the folds, everything just lies a lot flatter. Okay, so that's one. Let's do the same with the other. Whoops. It's faster if I go down one side. And again, you know, you could use different colors of cardstock. You know, you don't have to have both colors the same. You could use, you know, this would have been nice with the green maybe, or the brown or beige. Or even the red might have looked good with this. I think the cranberry coordinates nicely with the Gallivant Collection as well. Okay, so we've adhered that. Fold it in half again and give that a good smoothing out. Okay, and now you see that when we have our album pages, when we open it up, we're going to have that little band. Okay, now the last thing we have to do is, before we decorate it, of course, is we have to find some way to put it all together. So I just like to use a regular hole punch, okay? And because it's got, you know, kind of a set amount of space, I use that as my guide. So I just insert it right all the way in, as far as it'll go, right on the seam or the fold, and punch. Insert it as far as it'll go, and then I know that if I follow that on both pages, they're going to be the same, right? That's going to be the same. And that one. okay? I'm going to have the decorative one on the outside and the solid one on the inside. Now, when you fold it in half, you might see that the inside pages are a little bit longer. For me, that's not a big issue, you know, because I'm going to be adding things and it's not going to really lie straight and flat anyways. But if that bothers you, just take your scissors and you can trim up, you know, just hold it together there and then you can just trim up the side, okay? All right, let me show you how to bind this together. I'm just going to use that piece of brown ribbon. Here it is. But again, I might not use this as the final one. Okay, so we're going to use this ribbon both to bind it and to fasten it together. All right, so we're going to come up through the center, through one hole. Okay, and up through the center. Yeah, see, I think I'd like to use the navy ribbon. Pretty sure that's what I'm going to end up with. But let me just show you how to do this. Okay, so we want that to be nice and flat on the inside. Okay, and then, you know, gather it about the same on each side. So it is equal. And you're going to tie a knot in the center. As tight as you can without, you know, folding the papers. And then you're going to be left with two long tails. These long tails are going to hold your book together. So let's put in all of our little cards. These are going to be great for pictures and journaling, receipts, anything that you want to put on there. And again, if you find that it's a little bit long, you can certainly trim those down. For me, it's all part of the handmade charm. You know what? I might even round these corners too. I wonder if that will make it easier. I'll do the same thing, and I think that might make it easier to actually slide in. Yeah. So it makes it a little bit easier for those pages to go in. All right, so I'm going to do that to all of my pages so that they slide in. But once all your pages are in, you can see that these long tails are going to be perfect for tying your book together. So it's got to be one of the easiest ways to kind of, you know, make a mini album and then to bind it and fasten it. No, you know, gluing and stapling and stuff like that. We're just going to use a pretty little ribbon. Small fingers there, but you can see that that's how it's going to look. Okay, now these particular pieces are basically mats for your photos, and I think what I would do with those is I would put them on the page. Okay, they'll go either way because they're 6 inches wide, and because there's 4 of them, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you could do it on the inside pages, you could do it on the outside pages, you could do some on the back, whatever you like. And of course, if you feel like you need more, you're just going to need an extra piece of cardstock to trim that. And then as far as decorating goes, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to use one of these slide-in cards as a title. And then I love the fact that there's some of these journaling cards that have no lines on them, and then some that have lines on them. So I think what I'm going to be doing is just trimming that in half, and then I can use those smaller journaling cards on the inside. So I might have that with a little photo on it and maybe some ticket stubs. You know, these ones maybe not green on green, but you know, those ones can accompany and tell a larger story, maybe with a smaller photo. Okay, so not only do you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages, but then you also have 4 of these lovely little pull-out pages that, again, you could add journaling cards onto, or you could simply write on these papers. Okay? So I hope you got the idea for that. Okay, and I explained it well enough. Don't forget to go down below to the link so that you can get your copy of the handout with the cutting guides as well as all of the step-by-step instructions. And I will show you the finished product here in a bit of a walkthrough in just a second. All right, thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to give a little thumbs up if you like this video. Leave a comment. I always love to hear your comments. And then don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss the rest of my videos. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.